Ladies and gentlemen, it is pro wrestling's giant personality, the height of independent wrestling, Mr. Larger Than Life, big time Ethan Higher, and you're watching the Final Count podcast.
This is Mega Monzo, and you're Mega listening and Mega watching the Final Count podcast. Yeah!
This is former WWE and TNA Impact superstar Mike Knox, a.k.a. Nux. You are listening to The Final Count. Keep it tuned. Hey everybody, Anthony Corelli here, formerly known as Santino Morella. You are listening to The Final Count.
This is former WWE superstar Victor, and you are listening to The Final Count.
Hi everybody, my name's Berto, and this is my service animal, Hippo, with our good friend Eric. Eric, and you're here listening and watching the Final Count podcast. Yay!
Hey, it's Eric Orris, voice of the Valley from OVW, and you're checking out the Final Count. Citizens, this is Super Z, and you're watching the Final Count.
Welcome to the Final Count. Here is your host, Rymode Mosley, and your co-host, the 502 Ace, Brian Dixon.
What's up? That is right, man. It's Rye Mode here, and my partner in crime, the GM of Bullpen Pro Wrestling, Mr. Neil Brewer. How you doing, Neil?
Fantastic. 'Tis the season. Very
Yes.
festive. Just had my daughter on Monday, Penelope. So she's fantastic. Got my bourbon and my candy pecans. So
Yes.
all's well.
You're in for the ride here, brother. Tis the season. This is our Christmas special of the Final Count. And what an exciting episode we have for all of the fans watching tonight. If you're watching, wherever you're watching from, let us know where you're watching from for first of all. And, just be active in the chat. We do have some giveaways, so share the stream with your friends and all that good stuff. You never know, who might show up. There is a special guest that we have, and he's in the waiting room right now with us. And we're gonna go ahead and introduce him right now. But also, just remember that Santa Claus is also coming. So if you're out there and your kids watching, Santa's coming, so you'll have the opportunity, given the parents give permission, to come on and chat, possibly with Santa Claus. So yeah, exciting stuff. Without further ado, though, let's go on and bring on our guest. He is none other than OVW Star. Well, let me just play his music first, and then I'll introduce him. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, it is my pleasure. Welcome to the Final Count of our Christmas special. He is OVW Star and one half of Wrestling Game. He is the champion with us. The 80s baby. He is the Mammoth, Donovan Cecil. How are you doing, Mammoth?
What's up, guys? I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Excited to have you on. We've had you booked for a while, and it's awesome that it's finally here. This date is finally here.
Absolutely. Been looking forward to it for a little bit, so it's good to finally get on here and see you guys, talk a little bit about wrestling and a little bit about whatever you guys want to know.
Definitely.
Really appreciate it. So
Yes, we do. We appreciate your time and everything. And might I say, I told you off the recording or off the live here. I did tell you about the hat. I love the Bengals hat, Christmas hat right there. Rocking it. I'm a Bengals fan too, so there we go.
We got a little bit of a chance. Chargers helped us out a little bit yesterday, so hopefully we don't mess it up ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, everyone has that point in their life that first brought them into wrestling, that drew them in, whether that be from watching with a family member, their dad, their aunt, their uncle, their mother, grandma, grandpa. Who was that for you? What was that moment for you that you decided to that you wanted to get into the pro wrestling business?
Well, I grew up watching it with my dad, and then as I got a little bit older, my sister hopped in, and a little bit older than that, my mom started watching it as well. But then when I was at Kentucky State University playing football, I didn't really know that there was like an independent wrestling scene, really. So I thought it was either, you get the WWE or you don't, kind of thing, and they'll come find you, similar to football. But one of my coaches, who's actually the defensive back coach at the time, that was, also a wrestling fan, so he told me, hey, you should go over to Louisville and go to Ohio Valley Wrestling, get trained. And I was like, they have that in Louisville? And he's like, yeah, you just go over there, you take a class, you get trained, then you can become a pro wrestler. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll look into it. Played the spring game, broke my hand. So my hand was in a cast for maybe the first couple weeks of class. But I signed up with the late, great Matt Capitelli for his 10-week beginners program. That was during the off season from football. So did 10 weeks there, and then had my showcase match at the end of that 10 weeks. And had a great one with a guy named Matt Bryan. He unfortunately didn't wrestle after that. I thought it was a really good match, and then was told it was too, but whatever. And then ended up going back to Kentucky State because I had 2 more years of eligibility for football, and played my 2 more years. Played a little bit of pro ball here and there, nothing like in the NFL or anything like that, but a little bit of some arena leagues, and then the Rivals Pro Football League in Miami, and had a couple looks from NFL teams, but never really got the opportunity. And then when I came back, the Al Snow Wrestling Combine popped up, and I was like, a combine, I could do that. I've done that with football and everything else. So I went, and I was the 10th overall pick, the first Al Snow Wrestling Combine.
Wow. Yeah, and actually got to be there for that combine. And I remember, you were one of the ones that, like, just watching you just during the combine. That was impressive stuff because there was, and there was so many. Don't get me wrong, there were so many, but you were one of the ones for real that was a standout for real from that combine. How did you hear about the combine?
Well, I was up at about 1 a.m. Had to get up and go to work at doing landscaping by 5 the next day. So I was up a little bit too late, but I was just laying there in bed scrolling through Instagram, and it just popped up on Instagram from OVW where, you pay, I don't even remember how much it was to attend the combine. And, they would have a lot of drills that were football similar, the bench press, the dash, the 3-cone drill, stuff like that. And then there was, some silly stuff like pull-ups. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but and then, there was a promo portion and then a blow-up drill. And I was like, I could do all those things. And, at the time I was 320 pounds and I still hit 9 or 10 pull-ups. I don't remember what it was exactly. So I was pretty happy with that. But, I was just scrolling through my phone on Instagram and happened to see where OVW had posted it and was like, I'd love to get back into wrestling because I've always loved wrestling since I was a kid. Loved watching it. Loved reenacting it with stuffed animals and stuff like that on the bed. And didn't have too many friends to reenact it with, which, whatever. But played with the action figures and just loved everything about it as a kid. So.
Nice. So as a kid, you talk about wrestling with the action figures, wrestling with the stuffed animals. I think we've all, kind of had that that time in our growing up as kids. Who were some people you like to watch or got inspiration from as a kid? But then when you would get into the wrestling business?
Well, The Undertaker was always my favorite, and then as I got a little bit older, John Cena became my favorite. But, favorite. Undertaker was always the guy, but John Cena was up there. And then, kind of surprisingly, I was always like a big JBL fan, just because I really liked the way that he brought a realistic intensity to it. And he looked the part of, the switch from being Bradshaw to being JBL, the eccentric billionaire coming out in the limo with the horns on it and everything was just, crazy to me that he would make such a big change. And then it just, spoke to me that somebody who's, huge, like I met him at Fight Night back in Pikeville. He's huge, like, looking at him is like looking at somebody who's very tall, very stout. And so it was always really believable to me that he would be able to, hit that clothesline from hell and just beat anybody. So I always loved his work. He was a great heel too. So.
Definitely. Cena and JBL, that's some great, inspirations right there. And talking about JBL, like you said, kind of similarities there because both big men and, everything. And so, did you, at Pikeville, did you get to kind of like pick his brain or anything?
Not as much as I would have liked, but I did a little bit. Just trying to figure out because, like you guys have seen me wrestle. I bring a lot of athleticism as well as size and strength to the game. So trying to figure out from somebody who's another big man who's been there to the top of the mountain as far as the pro wrestling world is concerned, and trying to figure out where to fit the athleticism in while not sacrificing being the big man of the match was always something that I've been, trying to figure out on my own, and then trying to figure out from some of the great coaches at OVW, and then asking him about stuff like that is, and he told me to watch a lot of Vader, a lot of Bam Bam Bigelow, Mark Henry, even in his earlier days, did a lot more athletic stuff. So, those were some guys that I've been watching and then trying to learn from as I go along.
Definitely. Neil, do you have any questions you want to ask?
Yeah, I do. Sorry. But first, I just also want to say is like from a fanboy perspective who's been there, and I was there whenever you first started the dark matches, kind of, when you first went onto the seed there before that, or Tuscan Chains. And I'm really not just saying this. I really think that you were Superstar of the Year, if I'd have to do for 2024. And the reason why is because there was a lot of other things that happened, but you consistently grew. You consistently were delivering one of the best matches every single night, if not the best. You have found ways whenever you were fighting with Dustin Jackson and stuff to kind of show like your anger and your rage and stuff. And you've really honed your craft. You've really embodied like the Mammoth and have honed your arsenal. And you've been here throughout the whole year too. Like there's been a lot of people coming and going who have done stuff, but you have really been a constant, and not just in singles competition, but Tuscan Chains, which really helped fill a void whenever the Outrunners, were gone. Because, everyone loves them and stuff, and you can't, but just congratulations. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see what you're doing in the future. I guess a question I have is, now that you've like been in it and you've been doing it for a while, is there any big misconception that now that like you didn't know before, that you're like, man, I kind of wish everybody, whether you're a fan or something, could just kind of know this about wrestling and what it's like what would have been some of your bigger takeaways and lessons over the year? Because I would assume that this has been like your year, for as long as you've been wrestling.
I greatly appreciate that. It means a lot to hear that from a fan or somebody who watches, to appreciate the work that I've done. And so I do greatly appreciate that. Sure. Something I'd probably take away from it is, coming from a sports background of football and doing strongman and stuff like that, you put in the work, you go out on the field or into the gym, whatever, and if you did all the work and you were the strongest or the fastest or whatever, then you win. You're the top guy, you won the match or the competition or the game, whatever it might be. Whereas in pro wrestling, there is a time and a place for everybody, So I would say the misconception for me coming in was, I felt like I was a great athlete. I felt like I could do everything that some of the guys at the top were doing, and if not most of the stuff that they were doing. And while that's true, it doesn't always necessarily come across that way, because everybody has a place on the show. And finding my place on the show has been the great awakening of this year. With, at the beginning of this year and then the end of last year, I was, the singles guy who was, trying to be the up and comer, trying to be the newcomer of the year type of thing, even though I've been here for a couple of years, trying to grow in my own right. And then getting paired with TW3 to form Tuscan Chains really opened my eyes that my belief of when I came in, I'm going to immediately be heavyweight champion. I'm going to immediately take off. Nobody's going to be able to beat me because I'm the big, strong guy. And, from being a wrestling fan, watching the big, strong guy is always unbeatable. He goes on an undefeated streak. He wins the heavyweight title and he holds it for time, and then somebody knocks him off. That didn't happen for me. So,
I think that is for the best, though. Like, just even though I imagine something like that's how you would imagine like your tenure and your year going. But honestly, in this day and age, wrestling has evolved so much. I don't think you would actually want that as much as you would think, because that's kind of just the yawn. We've seen this before. Yeah. And so I think it really is fun out there. And that is just the insane challenge of wrestling, is constantly having to reinvent yourself
Yeah.
and knowing when and how to do that. But yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. Because, when envisioning myself, when I was a kid, as a pro wrestler, did I think I'd be wearing a light purple singlet with bedazzles on it and dancing and doing the worm? Not really. But
that's what makes you a wrestler.
It's pro wrestling. It's been great. It's been fun. Learning. Dave Hero actually was the guy who pitched it to me and TW3 of being a tag team, and he said to watch a lot of Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi.
Too cool.
Or Scotty 2 Hotty and Albert or A Train.
I'd even say New Day. You guys were kind of, that sort of evocative, team. I mean, definitely.
Yeah. So bringing fun, because like you said, the Outrunners were gone, which I'm still mad about because I still want to wrestle them. That'd be so much fun because Randall was actually, or Turbo was my first trainer when I came back to OVW. So
right. You never know. You never know. Maybe one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days, I hope. But yeah, so I would say that would probably be the advice I would give to anybody getting into wrestling is don't have any preconceived notions of where you're going to be or who you're going to be. Be open to all the possibilities because, like you said, I could have came in and, just off the top of my head, I think of somebody like Rusev, who in WWE, he came in, he was the monster, he won the U.S. title, he held it forever, and then once John Cena beat him, he kind of fell off because, where do you go from there? So it's definitely for the best that wasn't the path that I was on. So I'm happy about it, but it took some time for me to look inward and go, this is probably for the best.
Good answer.
Definitely, for sure. You talked about that was kind of one of my questions. You answered it right there. With TW3 and how did y'all came about and Dave Hero. I like how you talked about like how he said, go watch teams like Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty. Neil mentioned the New Day. Now that you mentioned that, I can definitely see Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi. I can see the New Day. I can see well, you said A Train and I forget who you said.
A Train and Scotty 2 Hotty.
Yeah, A Train and Scotty 2 Hotty too. Yeah,
I can definitely see for a long time too.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and Too Cool, like you said, Too Cool. I can definitely see that in Tuscan Chains. How did you come up with the name Tuscan Chains?
Well, that was actually Brian Kennison came up with Mammoth at the Disco because that's what we were called originally.
Not bad. Tuscan Chains, I think, ultimately better, but good one.
We were told by Tony Gunn actually that if you're thinking about it, you're in there wrestling, you're putting on match of the night, whatever it might be, you're having this great time, your fire's up. The crowd can't really chant Mammoth at the Disco super well.
Right.
So come up with something a little bit snappier. And he threw out a couple suggestions. I believe Tuscan Chains was one of his suggestions. And we just kind of rolled with it. And then we named our finisher the Mammoth at the Disco. So we gave everybody their due share, but, we did all the hard work. They just came up with the names.
There you go. Yeah. I was like, I remember when they were called Mammoth at the Disco, and I was like, I like it. And then all of a sudden, it was like maybe a week or so later.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
And I'm like, wait, weren't they just called this? Now they're called Tuscan Chains. But Tuscan Chains, it really caught on. It really, not that Mammoth at the Disco didn't, but Tuscan Chains really caught on.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue a little bit easier than Mammoth at the Disco does.
Of course. So do you remember your first match? It's kind of going back, but do you remember your first match? And if so, what was that like?
Well, my first match ever was against Matt Bryan. That was coming out of the Matt Capitelli class. Then when I came back, my first match was in a middle school gymnasium. It was a house show for OVW, and I faced Tom Coffey. And that was the first night I missed a moonsault. And I was like, I can do this. I could really be a pretty good pro wrestler, I think. And then I believe my first match at the Davis Arena was against William Lutz. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yes.
But that was a very fun match. Really brought a lot out of me because, wrestling Tom Coffey was a great match, but it was two similar guys. We were both big, we're both strong. I did some more athletic stuff. He did some more power stuff and some cheating. And then you go in there against somebody like Will Lutz, and it's, you got to try to keep up because at the time he was trying to really establish himself. And I believe the Rush division was just kicking off at the time. So he was trying to really elevate himself to become champion there. So it was fun trying to keep up with him and doing a pretty successful job of it, I'd say.
Definitely. While we're talking about matches, if you could pick 3 matches, and I'll list a tough one. I ask everyone that comes on this same question. But if you could pick 3 matches that you've had thus far in your career as your top favorites, what would those 3 matches be?
Ooh. 3 favorites in my career. I would say probably, I think they might all be from this year, if I'm not mistaken. But the triple threat match against Tony Gunn and TW3. I'm pretty sure that was at the beginning of this year. Not positive, but I believe it was. Then me versus Dustin Jackson at can't remember what that pay-per-view is called, but it just happened recently.
Revolution Reckoning?
No.
Yes, it was something like that. Loved that match. It was, a match that was just kind of thrown on the card to get like a hot open, 2 guys who didn't have a feud or anything at the time. And I feel like we went out there and we killed it, stole the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, you did. And I remember that. But yeah, you guys were match of the night. It was,
Thank you.
Ari and Freya second. They were fantastic too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And then my overall favorite, which might not be some people's favorite because of the circumstances outside of the ring, was Independence Rage, Tuscan Chains versus Dustin Jackson and Jake Lawless. The last show we had before we had to close because the air conditioning wasn't up. It was, 100-something degrees in there. There was water pooling on the ground from how hot it was. And I feel like the 4 of us went in there with the mindset of, we're going to steal this show. We're going to make people who are hot, people who are miserable, still get up out of their seat and clap and cheer and boo and have all the reactions and forget about how hot it is for however long our match goes. And we're going to make this the best that we can possibly make it. And I feel like we did that.
Definitely. And that's what it's about. Like, no matter what the situation, what the problem is, that's what wrestling is. You're taking people that might be going through rough times, might be going through a hard situation, such as, just something as far as being so sweltering hot in a packed room full of tons of people crammed in like sardines, Yeah. It's like, wrestling takes you out of that, it takes you out of that. Oh, I'm forgetting about how hot it is in here, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I love that. How did you come up with your name, with your moniker, the Mammoth?
Well, I kind of went through a lot of different things coming in, and then Doug Basham suggested that I use my actual name, Donovan Cecil, because I have real life accolades, being a strongman, football player, whatever. People can look that up and they can find my accolades. So I knew I was going to use that. And then I don't know if you guys are Yu-Gi-Oh fans or not, but I was looking through my room and opened up a drawer, and there was just a random Yu-Gi-Oh card in there, and it was the Mammoth Graveyard card. And I remember from watching the show, the Mammoth Graveyard, it was a fairly cool card, but I thought, Mammoth's a pretty cool animal. Nobody really used that other than Vader a little bit with Mastodon, I think. So I was like, I'll go with the Mammoth. And then I would maybe use Mammoth Graveyard as my finisher. And I just thought it was a really cool name.
Mammoth Graveyard. I like that. So that's really cool. I love how you came up with the name and everything. That's with the Yu-Gi-Oh card, and that's so cool.
Thank you.
Well,
what did it? Yeah.
sorry, I was just saying, and also too, it's just like I'm sure it's got to be challenging, especially in this day and age in wrestling, whenever like the larger guys aren't, the conquerors, that they once were kind of in the olden days and stuff like that. So to be a larger guy, you also have to be super fast. You have to be super agile. And so that's just, what sort of training regimen do you have or to stay in shape? Like how many hours a day would you say, or a week? Could you talk just kind of a little bit about your physical process? And I guess especially from a wrestler's perspective, is there anything also that you do different as a wrestler to help your body or prevent injury that other sports really don't have to worry about?
Yeah. Okay. So, well, first and foremost, I would say I have a lot of God-given talent, just as far as being athletic goes. I've just always been somebody who loves doing flips and dives and all that different kinds of stuff. So that was just something I was born with. As far as training goes, I train 4 to 5 times a week doing strongman training, which I feel more than anything, more than powerlifting, more than bodybuilding, more than, doing any other kind of workouts in the gym. Strongman has a great carryover to everyday life and to pro wrestling. So, we do a lot of sandbag training. So I use sandbags for my conditioning. So I'm picking up 300-pound sandbags and running, 50 feet, you drop it, you wait 10 seconds, you pick it back up and you run it back. And you do that for however many times. That carries over in wrestling because, you'll watch my match like against Jake Lawless in Georgetown. He does a springboard. I catch his crossbody like he's nothing because, picking up a 300-pound sandbag is a whole lot heavier than catching a 220-pound man. And we lift odd objects, stuff like Atlas stones, stuff like natural stones, logs, sandbags, the yoke carry, Husafel stones, all different kinds of stuff like that. So it carries over with, you have to be in shape because in powerlifting, because people have this misconception that kind of bugs me that I'm a power lifter. I'm not a power lifter. Power lifters do bench, squat, deadlift. They're all static. They stand in one place or they lay down and they move from A to B. Strongman, you're picking up, like I said, odd objects and you're running with them for time. You're loading them over a bar or onto a platform and running back and grabbing something else. You're throwing kegs 15 feet in the air. You're doing all these things that power lifters don't do. But it carries.
It's become a misconception that there's so much more nuance and different activities that go into powerlifting, or no, I'm sorry, what you're saying, strongman than powerlifting.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So, it's strongman's not like a really blown up sport. So I don't blame people for not really getting it because, you think of, oh, you're a big, strong guy, you must do powerlifting. It makes sense, whatever. But I'll always correct people in that I do strong powerlifting because that carries a lot of athleticism, because if you can, like for me, you have a medley where you carry a 1,000-pound yoke 50 feet, and then you got to run back and grab farmer's handles that are 300 pounds each and pick them up and run them 50 feet, then run back and grab a sandbag. What are you doing there? It's simulating similar to pro wrestling where you're running towards the ropes and then you turn and you run back and then you turn and you run back and you have to be quick when you turn or else you're going to lose time and then you're going to lose the event. So I feel like strongman has greatly helped me in pro wrestling and helped me in football, and football helped me in strongman, and so on and so forth. It's all been an accumulation of, a lifetime of playing sports and being athletic, whether it was, I did karate when I was a kid, playing baseball, football, basketball a little bit, and now strongman and pro wrestling, they all go hand in hand. They're all...
Just quick follow-up. Strongman, the competition or the competing for strongman, is that seasonal like football or something like that? Or is that just a year-round thing, kind of how wrestling is?
Oh, it's year-round. Yep. It's
okay.
year-round. Over the last couple months, I did the World Strength Games qualifier in somewhere in Kentucky. I forget where it was. Won that, and then maybe a month and a half later, last Sunday, I won Kentucky Strongest Man, and then I'll have a competition, I believe, in March, and then another one in May, and then nationals will be in August. The World Strength Games qualifiers late May. So it's year round. Basically, whenever you find one that you like the events, or you like the idea of where you want to go, or you want to qualify for something, it's year round. You just go on the website, you look it up, you sign up, and you go.
That and wrestling full time. That is
wow. That's full.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like it. And I'm glad you pointed out about how you said it was being strongman, doing strongman competitions and like powerlifting. That's not the same. You said it's not the same thing, right? Like it's not two different things. I'm glad you kind of pointed that out. So like, is it the same thing as bodybuilding though?
No,
or is it just completely different things?
No, they're three totally different things, and they're all perfectly good sports within themselves. Bodybuilding is, you're training to look as good as you possibly can. So somebody like AJZ, for example, used to be a professional bodybuilder, I believe. So, if you want to look like AJZ, do bodybuilding. Powerlifting, I believe Shane Mercer is a powerlifter. They do bench, squat, and deadlift for max. Those are the only three things they do, and they do them year-round. Strongman, there's, pretty much any event you can think of will do. So, like at the Strength Games qualifier, there was a natural stone carry, farmers, a deadlift, a log press, and a sandbag medley. Whereas at Kentucky Strongest Man, there was a sandbag steeplechase, an axle clean and press, a deadlift ladder, stone series, and some other fifth event that I'm blanking on that, you're never going to go to unless you're, new to the sport or kind of a coward, in my opinion. In strongmen, you're never going to go to a show that has all the same events over and over and over. They're going to be vastly different every time you go. There might be one or two, like there's always a press, there's always a deadlift, but you never know what the press is going to be until you sign up. You never know what the deadlift's going to be. It might be with an axle, it might be with a log, it might be, you might deadlift a frame or farmer's handles or a straight bar or deadlift bar. There's a lot of nuances to it.
Nice. Now, how did you get involved, like in doing strongman competitions?
I believe in high school, I started watching World's Strongest Man, seeing guys like Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, Hafthor Bjornsson, who was the Mountain on Game of Thrones. Those guys were all in there, and Zydrunas Savickas, and just watching it, it always seemed a lot more fun to me because I've always been a competitive person, but I also get pretty bored easily. So, like I had my football coach in high school tried to tell me, you should do powerlifting because I've always been strong. But I was like, it's pretty boring, just a bench, squat, deadlift. And then watching World's Strongest Man and the World Strength Games and shows like that on TV was always like, those guys looked like they were doing fun things that I would enjoy. So then when I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, because my sister was getting her doctorate degree at the University of Louisville, I was looking up gyms to go to and saw Everyday Athletes over in Louisville, and they had strongman equipment in the back. They had a log, they had Atlas stones, they had farmers, they had, the yoke, they had all different kinds of implements. I was like, this is the gym that I'm going to go to because this is so much fun. And now I'm, trying to break the yoke world record. Next year, I'll probably at the World Strength Games qualifier, they have a max yoke event. I'm going to try to break the yoke world record. I want to carry, my mind is set. I want to do 1,500 pounds for 50 feet and break the world record in the yoke and get my name put down in the history books.
What's up, Blake? I love that you set your goals too, as far as that goes too. So do you like set a goal like each year, something like a record that you want to break and everything?
Yes. Yeah. So like for this year, I wanted to overhead press 400 pounds, which I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, I want to break the yoke world record. I also want to deadlift 850 pounds, and I want to win my first singles title in pro wrestling. Because to date, I've only won 2 titles, and they've both been tag team titles. So I'm looking to win a little bit of singles gold in pro wrestling this year.
Definitely. And I think that will definitely happen for you in 2025 for sure. Because I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think we can see you as world OVW heavyweight champion within the next year.
I hope so.
I think we can see that. I'll be honest with you. I forget what show it was. It was one of the Rise tapings or one of the Rise shows. It was like just about a month or so ago that it was you and Cash.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was when Cash was champion. I thought that you was gonna take the title from him. And I thought you was gonna join the Revolution too at that point.
I was very close to winning the heavyweight title. I was never close to joining the Revolution.
That match was really good. Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome. So what did it mean? We talked about your Kentucky's strongest man once again, back-to-back years. And so what did that mean to you to become Kentucky's strongest man?
It means a lot because, leading into it, I had just started a new job that's fairly physical. I was wrestling a lot. I had Thursday was Rise, Friday was Georgetown, Saturday was a steel cage match with Jake Lawless, and then Sunday was Kentucky's Strongest Man. So, my training leading into it wasn't all that good. My nutrition leading into it wasn't as good as it could have been. I had lost 15 pounds heading into it, which for a strongman isn't necessarily a good thing. So leading into it, I was like debating whether I even wanted to do the show or not. But I decided because Davey McCann, the guy who runs Kentucky's Strongest Man, last year had the show on a Saturday, which was the same day as Christmas Chaos. So I went and did the show and then was planning on competing at Kentucky's Strongest Man and going straight over to Louisville and doing Christmas Chaos. Unfortunately, the show ran long. I couldn't make it to Christmas Chaos last year. But this year, he had Kentucky's Strongest Man on Sunday instead of Saturday. So I was like, I'll do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'll go in, I'll compete. And I went in, I competed, and I did very well, and I won. And that meant to me that, A, I'm still Kentucky's Strongest Man, so I could still use that as my one of my wrestling monikers because, it'd be kind of rough if I lost. That whole thing's over. And then for 2, it meant that I'm really as strong as a lot of people make me out to be because, in your own head, you have a hard time accepting a lot of the things that people say that it's nice about you. So for me to go in and not have the training leading into it that was perfect, not having the diet, not having, this, that, or the other, being sore and tired from wrestling the past 3 days and going in and still being able to win told me I'm pretty good at this. I'm pretty strong. I can win shows, whether I'm really prepared for them or not, against some pretty good competition.
Definitely for sure. Do you have any goals to possibly maybe at some point compete in the World's Strongest Man competition?
Absolutely. I would say, because nationals this year or next year now in 2025, if I take top 3 there, I can get my pro card. And then if I become a pro, then I can compete in World's Strongest Man qualifying shows. So I would love to become a pro strongman and qualify for the World's Strongest Man. The only thing that I think would stop me from doing that would be wrestling. I think because wrestling is my first and foremost priority. I want to make it to the big time in wrestling. I want to help elevate OVW to being the most it can be. And I want to make it, wherever I can to be as well known of a pro wrestler as I can possibly be. So if it came down to choosing, I'd pick pro wrestling over making it the world's strongest man.
For sure, for sure. Neil, you have any other questions you want to ask?
No, right now I'm good, man. Congratulations. I mean, it's just what a year, man. You've obviously worked really hard. You deserve it, and I'm really excited to see what OVW has for you in 2025, and I'm going to savor every moment, because whenever you're someone like you who's just going up the ranks and going up, I'm sure you'll have your opportunities. So keep it up, in singles gold 2025. Donovan Cecil, it's going to happen.
Absolutely, I hope so.
Definitely. Real quick, talk about being one half of the tag team champions. What did that mean to you?
Well, it was my first taste of gold in pro wrestling, so obviously that was a huge moment for me. And getting to do it with somebody like TW3, who, like I said, heading into pro wrestling, thinking about who I was and what I wanted to be, I never thought that I would team with, the dancing guy, the fun guy. I thought I was going to be a big, tough, brooding guy. But getting paired with TW3 was honestly the best moment of my career so far, because it allowed me to show off more of my real personality, because I'm not just a, grunting, angry guy all the time. I'm fairly fun. I like to have a good time. So getting to team with him and somebody who has so much experience, he's been wrestling. I don't want to age him out here, but he's almost been wrestling for as long as I've been alive. He brought out a lot of my personality, a lot of my ability, and really opened the door for me to show who I can be moving forward. And it was just, a great experience. I wish we would have got to hold on to him a little bit longer. I wish that we didn't have to shut the doors because of the AC during our title reign. But, the revolution came along and ruined our hopes and dreams. But, that's what they do.
You'll get them back. You'll get them back.
Absolutely. We're going to have to, somebody's got to
Definitely.
get back. Keep on running roughshod over everybody. So
Exactly. So looking forward, we got Christmas coming up. We got another guest coming on here shortly, Santa Claus. So with Christmas next week, what are you asking for Santa Claus this year?
Ooh.
From him.
I would like singles championship gold in OVW. I think that's the top thing on my mind moving forward into the new year. I would love to win the Nightmare Rumble. I might ask for that. So I could face Mount Kadeem again, because I didn't like my match with Mount Kadeem. I was pretty upset about that match, because I don't like it when people will go in there and they're bigger than me, and he caught me off guard a little bit. Threw me into some barricades, some walls. Kind of irritated me a little bit. So I'd love a rematch with Mount Kadeem. I'd love for the title to be on the line this time. I'd love to take it from him. So Nightmare Rumble win leads straight into a heavyweight championship match, and I beat Mount Kadeem. That's what I'm going to ask for Santa this year.
Definitely. Santa better deliver on those right there.
I hope so.
Yeah. Nightmare Rumble. Get your tickets if they're not sold out yet, because it is always a blast.
It's a hot show. It's going to be a very
yeah. Any Rumble show, it's just like the wrestlers are ready, the fans are ready. It's just
Yeah, we got JBL and Mick Foley coming in this year for the Nightmare Rumble. So
you'll get a chance to pick JBL's brain a lot more, I think, after the new year and stuff.
Yes.
And
I'm planning on
that's awesome that he's able just to do that too, and Mick coming like that. And that's just, I have so much respect for people who just, really try and give back to the profession that lifted them up, and, just kind of going down back to the grassroots and stuff like that. I think the 2010s in WWE, when it just became a global juggernaut, and you saw all of the indie scene disappear, I think you're going to see a big resurgence. I mean, you already have, but I do think it's going to keep growing. I think independent and local community-based wrestling is going to spike over the next few years, and I hope I'm right about it.
I agree with you. I definitely think it's going to keep picking up, because WWE's got their ID program now. So, indie wrestling is, in my mind, it's going to open up and become the biggest it's ever been because there's so many opportunities, so many avenues. And now there is AEW, there's TNA is making a big resurgence. There's, just so many great options as far as pro wrestling is concerned that there's almost no choice but for indie promotions to capitalize and feed off of it because there's so many places instead of it just being there's one place to be and nothing else. So now it's really opening up.
The indie scene is just such like the heart and soul of just the sport, in general. Of course, it's great to get to WWE or whatever the big times, but the indie scenes and things like OVW are where you see people who are at their best doing it just because they flippin' love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. So Mammoth, before we let you go, do you have any upcoming shows you would like to promote?
Yeah, I got Indiana Powerhouse Wrestling coming up January 11th of the upcoming year, which is also my sister's birthday. Happy birthday to her on that day. That is in Muncie, Indiana. Then this year on the 29th, hopefully going to be on a show in Greenfield, Indiana. Not quite sure if I'm going to be on there yet, but I'm trying. And then hoping to go to Texas next year. So, Sophia Rose gave me a little bit of a in with Dustin Rhodes' program down there. He's running So I'm definitely looking to get down there, spread my wings a little bit with the indie scene this year.
The networking capabilities are just, I'm sure, so ripe, right now. And in any sort of entertainment or any industry, it's like who and networking, and just you have to take advantage. You have to listen to people, who've been around and stuff like that. But I'm so happy that you're getting those kind of like connections and opportunities because people at the OVW level really deserve them.
Thank you.
I agree for sure. And fans, if you're watching this now, watching this at a later time, if you're in any of the areas, or if you haven't checked out OVW and you're sleeping on OVW, don't sleep on OVW.
Don't do it.
I mean, but don't sleep on also indie wrestling wherever you're at, wherever you're located at. If there's an indie wrestling promotion that is in your area, get to it. Make the drive. Get to these shows. Support indie wrestling and support wrestling in general. These men and women alike, they put their bodies on the line for our entertainment, and so go and spend your hard-earned money. And
I feel like, I'm sorry, I just want to say about these indie shows really quick.
Yeah,
the price is incomparable to other forms of entertainment.
Yes,
like it is insane what these wrestlers do, and you're talking about some places that'll have $8 for a ticket, 10, 15. When you're talking about like $20, movie tickets. I'm a theater actor, $30 ticket for a play. Like local wrestling promotions will charge like $8 to $15 for a ticket. So it is really affordable to go, not just like once or every now and then, but go a few times a year. Like anyway, sorry, that's it.
You're good. Now we want to promote indie wrestling and promote just, we can't stress it enough how important it is to support wrestlers and support the indie wrestling scene, for sure. And then how can fans find you on social media?
On Instagram, I am Donovan the Mammoth. On X, I guess it's called now, Donovan Cecil KSM. And then just Donovan Cecil on Facebook.
All right, fans, go follow Mr. Donovan Cecil, the Mammoth Donovan Cecil, on all of his social media. And then one last question. If a promoter's out there listening or watching, and they want to book you for their next show, how can they go about doing that?
I have my email address and stuff like that for bookings on my Instagram, or you can just DM me on Instagram. If you're an indie booker out there, reach out to me. Like I said, I'm looking to spread my wings and my horizons a little bit in 2025 because I'm starting to buy into my own hype a little bit, and I think that I can really make a push this upcoming year and get as good as I can be. Go out there and still do OVW because I love OVW, and it's a fantastic show that everybody should watch. But I also want to get out there and see what other wrestlers are like too. and get out there and really test myself against the whole world.
Just keep a level head, man. You got it. You're as good as you think you are. Just stay humble, and you got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Completely agree. Well, at this time, Mammoth, we definitely want to thank you for coming on the Final Count on our Christmas special. It's been a fabulous time having you, and you're welcome to come back anytime, sir.
All right, thank you guys. I enjoyed being here, and you guys have a great podcast. So
thank you, sir. Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. See you next year.
Yep. See you next year, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, what a interview that was with the Mammoth Donovan Cecil, and but I think wait a minute. I think we have another guest. Not I think, I know. Maybe if you haven't seen our social media, we sent Santa Claus a letter and requested that he would be here and seeing if he could make time to be here with us. And well, the jolly old man is here, and let's get some music going and
bring him
get him on. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Straight from the North Pole, he is coming to town, to your town, where he is right here on the Final Count with us tonight. So, without further ado, from the North Pole, he is the Jolly One himself, the man with the big red feet, and the big long white beard, Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Sorry if I'm a little late. Reindeer's had a little bit of too much chocolate, and we're taking a little break. Oh, but I was just in Vegas. That's how I got these glasses.
How's it going, Santa? Thank you for joining us on the Final Count.
Well, I'm very glad to be here on the Final Count, and it's very good to see you two on here. Have you two been nice or naughty?
I think I've been nice.
So with the 3rd degree, Santa, that hurts.
Well, remember, I checked the list twice.
All right, that's good.
He does. You do. So, you know, how's everything going up at the North Pole?
It's going great. We got Mrs. Claus taking a break. We got the elves still working. A little bit too much hot cocoa for them, if you know what I mean. Oh, well, but everything is going tip-top shape. Everybody's going to get what they want for Christmas. Keep sending in those letters, everybody.
Definitely. I think there's a lot of good girls and boys out there. I don't know if there's any watching currently right now or anything, but if there is any that want to jump on, or anybody that just wants to jump on and say hi to Mr. Saint Nick himself, Santa Claus here. If you want to jump on and say hi to Santa Claus, chat with him, let him know what you want for Christmas, you can definitely do that. Just let us know, and we'll get you a link and get you on here. But Neil, do you have any questions for Santa? I got one. What is your favorite Christmas song?
Well, I love all the Christmas songs. My favorite Christmas song will be Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Jingle Bells, Jingle Bell Rock. That's another one.
I would have to say my second favorite is the one by hold on, let me check the list here. Mariah Carey.
Yes.
All I want for Christmas is you. I think Christmas is about giving the love to your friends and families out there.
Yes, it is definitely about that. And we like to give stuff away here on the Final Count.
Ooh, yes, we do.
We love to do that, and we have some things that we want to give away here tonight, actually. So Santa, at this time, I'm gonna let you be the one to give these items away. and we'll continue to chat. And just whenever you want to give another one away, just let us know.
All right. Well, what we got here? Let me see. Let's see. I believe we got some OVW T-shirts.
Yes, we have. Well, we have T-shirts from. We have a T-shirt here from, and I had pictures. Well, I was going to take pictures of them, but I didn't get to take them. And it's from the Dark Clouds, former OVW Tag Team Champions, 2-time OVW Tag Team Champions. To get bundles and Eric Darkstorm have graciously signed these T-shirts. We got 2 of them here, one in white, and the size. I'm trying to find the size here. I think this is about a medium or small, probably about a small.
Every time you pop it morphs into the room. It's that Christmas magic.
I love Christmas magic.
So which one do we want to give away first?
Well, let's see here. Should we give away the one that's signed or the other one? Let's see.
Well, they're both signed.
Oh, they're both signed. Okay.
We have looks like to be a medium right here, and then the other one has the. Bear with us here. The other one is a 2XL.
2XL.
Yes.
That's about my size. You sure I can't give it away to myself?
Oh. Well, that's up to you.
Well, let's start with the medium first. Let's start with the medium first.
Start with the medium, okay.
We're going to give that away.
Someone from the chat here. I don't know if you can see the chat.
I can barely see the chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Santa doesn't know how to work good technology right now. Whoa, there's a comment.
Good job, Santa. You got this.
You got it,
All
Santa.
right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to choose the greatest one. And I think that shirt should go to, drum roll please. It should go to Justin J.P. Johnson.
Justin J.P. Johnson, you have won this Dark Clouds shirt signed by both the Get Bundles and Eric Darkstorm, former
And if
OVW
there's one thing that I love about Christmas, even it's after Christmas, I love to spend my time with my wife and with the elves and the elves.
Oh, I think we lost Santa. I don't know where something happened. He was talking, but Santa, are you there?
No.
We lost Santa. We'll get him back here. We'll
get him back, man.
It happens. We'll get Santa back. We got more stuff to give away. We'll get Santa back on here. While we're waiting on Santa to come back, real quick. Okay, here he is. He's back. Oh. Okay, while we're waiting on Santa to get back, we'll get him back up here. But first, let me go over here and we'll just plug some shows right quick. All right. Oh, Santa's back. We got you back, Santa.
So sorry. So many calls I get from the North Pole. Apparently, one of the elves went very cuckoo for the cocoa beans, and we're having hot chocolate. And apparently, we had to sort out a little bit of things. It happens. Trust me. The elves love hot chocolate.
Thought that was Krampus for a second, but I think we're safe, so that's good.
Yeah. So we got one shirt that has been given away, and our winner, Justin J.P. Johnson. So Justin J.P. Johnson will get in contact with you for this shirt here. And it is signed, and we'll get it to you. We'll message you, and I know you personally, so I'll get in contact with you.
Hold on 1 minute.
Yeah, we have more.
Comment boy. Comet, do not eat that man's pants.
Oh,
Comet, over here. Come here. Here we go. You can't be eating the man's pants. Oh, Comet gets very, very hungry this time of year.
Comet,
Give him a little carrot.
he's one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
So what else are we going here to talk about today? We talk about the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, let's talk about the spirit of Christmas. You know, it's giving, it's, you know, putting a smile on people's faces, which that here is what us here at the Final Count, that's what we like to do. That is put a smile on people's faces. Let me ask you, Santa, do you like wrestling?
Oh, exactly what I was about to say before I was brutally interrupted. Oh, we at Allels, we love to watch wrestling. We love to watch OVW. We love to watch everybody.
We have Chase that says hi to Santa.
Hello there, Chase. How are you? Hope you've been a good boy this year.
Michael, let me just let you know that if Chase wants to come on and say hi to Santa and talk with Santa, he can definitely do that as well. We'll get you a link. But let's continue with this. We were talking about wrestling. So you like wrestling, you said.
Oh, yes, I love wrestling. Wrestling is one of our favorite things to do. And after we're done delivering presents, we like to watch back and watch either what you call the World Wrestling Entertainment, OVW.
Yes.
We also like to watch some other indie shows. And let me tell you something. It is amazing to watch the wrestling world.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Yeah.
Well, that depends on which company we're talking about.
Ooh, anyone, any company.
Any
Number
company.
one.
Well, my favorite, in my opinion, my favorite wrestler of all time would have to be. Sorry, I'm doing the drum roll. My favorite wrestler of all time would have to be the Hall of Famer in Kentucky, Indie Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, Scott Diamond.
Scott is a friend of the show here. So he's a perfect choice there. And he's one of my favorites as well.
I believe everybody could learn from Scott Diamond. Learn how to gift. Learn how to give and love your families. Love everybody.
I
sure
agree.
Scott Diamond is very flattered.
And I believe anybody, when you give the gift of giving, you can also shine bright like a diamond.
Yes. And I am a part of an honorary member of the Diamond Cartel. So yeah, I love Scott Diamond.
Oh, the Diamond Cartel. I remember when I used to deliver presents when he was a little boy. How they have grown. How everyone has grown.
Yes. We'll get to talking more about the Diamond Cartel in a little bit, but I see we have another guest that wants to come on and talk to you, Santa. We have Chase.
Bring him on here.
Hi, Santa.
Oh, hello there. How are you today?
Good.
Have you been a good boy this year?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think definitely we know who may get a great gift. What would you like to get your gift this year?
I want a toy.
You want a toy? What kind of toy do you want?
A wrestler.
Ooh, a wrestling toy. Let me ask you something. Who's your favorite wrestler?
The LOB.
The LOB. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, you have been very nice. And you know what? I believe you're going to have a great Christmas this year, and I'm going to make sure that happens.
Okay.
Make sure you be good for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Thank you, Chase.
Thanks, Chase.
Thank you, Chase.
Welcome. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Chase. Oh,
And
I love spreading joy
actually,
to little kids around the world and seeing kids just leave out milk and cookies for me.
yes, and what's your favorite kind of cookie? Speaking of,
Ooh. Well, I love them all, but I think my favorite will have to be chocolate chip.
chocolate chip. That's a
Can't
great.
go wrong with the little chocolates inside.
Yes,
Yeah, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
you really can't. What about a sugar cookie?
Ooh, a sugar cookie. Those are my second best, but sometimes they kind of don't want to get personal, flow a little bit right through me. Too many candy canes and too much sugar.
So, sugar cookies or gingerbread men?
Ooh, hold on, that's a tough one. That's a very tough one.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put the heat on you, Santa.
Oh, let's see. What's her name here? Neil, Jimmy boy, come here. Let me see the list. Neil. Jimmy, he's supposed to be on the naughty list. No.
What?
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. Hold on. It's just a smudge. Okay, you're nice. Never mind.
Oh, man.
Oh, you can relax. You're on the nice list. Oh, both of you are on the nice list.
Thank you, Santa. Don't do
great.
that to me.
I would have to say gingerbread. I love gingerbread.
Me too, Santa.
Good gumdrops.
Kind souls. So we got 2 shirts gone, Rye. What else we giving away tonight?
One shirt gone. We got two. We got one more shirt
Sorry.
left. Yep, and we got a signed 8x10 of OVW Star Super Z.
Super
As
Z.
well
Well,
as
how about this? How about we start with the autograph, the signed poster?
Okay.
And you know what? Since Chase has been a good boy, let's give it to him.
All right. So Chase,
Santa
you are
has
the winner
spoken.
of this signed Super Z 8x10.
Merry Christmas, Chase. Merry Christmas to you.
Congrats, Chase.
Congrats to Chase. And we have one more 8x10 that is actually, I'll show you this one too.
Ooh, what is this?
I kind of can see it.
Tell us what it is, Rye Mode.
It is an 8x10 signed by one half of the Ascension, former WWE Star Victor, one half of the Ascension. And this is an 8x10. Connor's on the 8x10 as well, but unfortunately we can't get a hold of him. So Victor was nice enough to sign it for us. And
I think I know who deserves that one. Because they put my favorite comment in the comments. I think Jerry W. Webb Jr. deserves the 8x10 signed photo.
Oh,
Jerry Webb Jr. has won this 8x10. Look at that.
and that's NXT Ascension too, not WWE Ascension.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, Jerry.
We got one more T-shirt left here, Santa.
One more T-shirt, and that is the what is that? That's a 2XL, right?
That's the 2XL, yes, sir.
Well, let's see how many people can comment Merry Christmas on here. Comment down Merry Christmas, and I'll choose the next one. I'll choose the last and final winner.
Yes.
But anyways,
Jerry
also
says, thanks, Santa.
speaking of Scott Diamond, there is a surprise I want to invite everybody to. Everyone. I invite all of you out there who love the indie pro wrestling world to come join EWA at Nicholasville, Kentucky. And I can't remember the name of the gym, but it has been posted for the Scott Diamond birthday bash. I invite all of you to come. And I invite all of you to always make sure that you watch indie pro wrestling, support your wrestlers, and give the gift of giving and love to all the family and children of the world.
Yes, that is exactly right. And That show is actually going to be on January the 3rd. I believe it is. Yes.
Not far off. Not far off.
And we'll have that flyer up actually next week to promote that show as well. Next week is our final show of the year. It is also.
And let me tell you something. People here on this podcast have done a wonderful job of bringing the entertainment to you all. Make sure you follow them on Facebook and any social media that they have.
Thank you very much, Santa.
You're very welcome.
Yes, support indie wrestling. But,
Dasher, come back here. It's not time to go to the gym yet. Dasher, come over here. I know you like to run. Get over here.
So wait, it's not Run Run Rudolph. It's Run Dasher.
Well, Dasher, that's the reason why. Like, ever since Dasher was born, all he's ever done was run around the whole factory. Hard to catch, a little fella. We kind of had to calm him down a little bit, but he's doing just fine. Rudolph! Rudolph!
Uh-oh.
What are you doing, Rudolph? You're not a Christmas tree ornament. Come down here. You got to light my sleigh tonight. We got to make sure it's a safe ride back to the North Pole.
Yes, you have to get back safe to the North Pole for sure.
Oh, yes, we do.
You got a big trip around the world on Tuesday night, and so yeah, gotta get back safe.
All right. And you know what? I believe I'm ready to give the last gift away to our next and final contestant. And the person who deserves this gift will be Michael Herm. Merry Christmas, Michael.
Well, congratulations, Michael. We'll get in contact and we will get you this shirt and the 8x10 for Chase as well. Congratulations to all of our winners tonight.
And you know what? Let's do one more thing before Santa has to leave for the North Pole. I am loving the outfits you two have on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, it brings joy to my heart to see everyone here giving the gift of love and giving the gift of thanks to everyone around the world, no matter where you are. Love is in the air. And as we get to that part, I want to make sure everybody, everywhere, all the children around the world have a merry, very Merry Christmas from yours truly. Make sure you're nice and not naughty. Make sure you always follow the Round Table Podcast. Make sure you always keep update on every indie wrestling you can ever find. Because like I said, me and the L's, we love to watch wrestling.
Yes. I second that, Santa. And Santa, it's been an awesome time having you on our episode, on our Christmas special. You are Father Christmas, and so it's great to have you on the Final Count. And hey, come back next year.
You know what? Neil actually sent me a letter. Let me read it out for you. Neil, I think I can arrange something for you. It says, Dear Santa, how about for Christmas you get me one night? Let me see. One day to meet Mother Nature. Neil, I think I can do that for you, pal. You know, Mother Nature, I love how Mother Nature just brings the joy of spring, summer, fall to everybody around the world, especially my favorite, winter.
Yes.
And what would you two both like for Christmas?
I have a beautiful baby girl that just came into the world. So I tell you what, you just leave me a couple Reese's cups under the tree. I'm Pat. So I appreciate it.
Well, make sure you have a great couple of chocolates for you. And I'll give you one of our hot cocos for Christmas.
Yeah.
And Ryan Mold, what would you like for Christmas, my boy?
I think I'll just take everyone just being happy and watching the Final Count. being fans of the Final Count and fans of wrestling.
Oh, the final. Oh, oh, oh. Whew. Let me tell you something. Always follow the final count. Follow the final count right here on the podcast because they have been wonderful, much wonderful hosts for them this evening, and especially inviting Santa all the way from the North Pole to come out here and spread joy to all of you at the final count.
Thanks, Santa.
Make sure you always follow it. I'll be watching you all. Make sure you have a very Merry Christmas. Make sure you always be nice to your families, to your friends, even your enemies, even if they've done things to you. Always learn that you can always be friends and always share love.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, we know you got to get back to the North Pole, and so Santa, we want to thank you again for coming on.
Thank you all. Everybody, round up the sleigh. We're going back home and making more toys for every boy and girl for the world. Have a Merry Christmas. Final count, and to everyone.
And to all a good night. That's what he's going to say, I think.
Yeah, to all a good night. I think he kind of said that without actually saying it. Well, what an exciting show this has been. A lot of people have gotten, we've got to do some giveaways, which is something I love to do. I love to do some giveaways. And also talk to Santa, talk to our feature guest, the Mammoth Donovan Cecil. But we're not done yet. I do want to plug some shows here. Then we got to pay some bills, brother.
Plug the shows and pay the bills. That's all right. That's how we wrap this baby up.
All right. And real quickly, actually, first of all, before we plug these shows, I want to give a shout out. So Jerry Webb in the comments that has been in our comments that won one of the 8x10s. I have here. He is actually a content creator. And so I want you all to go and check out and follow. Let me remove this real quick.
No.
Follow Web Wars Adventures on all of their social media. Go check out our friends over at Web Wars Adventures. Follow them on all their social media. You can see their Instagram, Web Wars Adventures, and their TikTok, Web Wars Adventures. Go check them out. And a lot of great things coming from Web Wars Adventures. They're friends of mine. And so go check them out. And we hope to do some collabs and everything with them as well. With that being said, let's get some shows here. We have a Grindhouse Pro Wrestling has a big show coming up this Sunday afternoon, their Christmas show. It is called a Grindhouse Christmas. And so I believe this is the main event. We have Kevo Thrives and Berto versus Herzog and the Masked Man. So basically, there's been a Masked Man roaming around Grindhouse and kind of coming after Berto, the Grindhouse champion. And nobody knows who this Masked Man is. And he still hadn't been revealed yet. So will he be revealed this Sunday? We'll just have to find out. You have to be there. Only one way to find out is be there. And then we have the next match. This is the match where the winner will face Thunder Kitty for the Grindhouse Women's Championship at Rumble in January. Allie Albright is taking on Vanessa Holiday. This is sure to be a great match right here.
Woo! Yeah, that's going to be one of the biggest challenges of Allie Albright's career, I would say, taking on Vanessa Holiday.
Definitely. I completely agree. That's sure to be a barn burner right there. Then we also have the Rumble Before the Rumble Battle Royal to determine the first and last entrance into the 2025 Rumble. So, who's going to be the first entrant in the Rumble? Who's going to be the last entrant in the Rumble? Find out this Sunday. And last but not least, this is all the matches that we have announced thus far as of this episode, as of today. We have HNIC and DWO. They will sign the contract for their tag team championship match. So this is not a match, it's a contract signing. So, you can catch all of this Sunday at Grindhouse Pro Wrestling over in Jeffersonville, Indiana, 1416 Spring Street, Jeffersonville, Indiana, at the arena. It is this Sunday, December 22nd of 2024. Bell time is at 3 p.m. Get your tickets there, just $15, and check out We Are Grindhouse.com, I believe is what it says. Check them out, and on all their social media as well.
Yeah, please check out Grindhouse. If you haven't been to a Grindhouse show yet, you're really missing out.
Definitely. And then this last show, we always promote Supreme Wrestling, rather. It used to be called Supreme Championship Wrestling, but Supreme Wrestling in Madison, Indiana, final Friday. In addition to our events every Saturday, we will also host a live event on the final Friday of each month at the same location and time. So every Saturday, so that means tomorrow night, Supreme Wrestling at the Supreme Arena, 2520 Lanier Drive, Madison, Indiana. Doors open at 6:30. Bell time is, I believe it says 7 p.m. All tickets are just $9, right? Yeah, $9. And
that's
so,
what I'm saying, man. It's economical, man. So cheap. What a price for a ticket.
Yeah, definitely worth it too. And again, support indie wrestling wherever you're at. We can't stress that enough. These men and women, they put their bodies on the line for our entertainment, and so it's not ballet, as the old saying goes. Yeah. And it literally, it's not ballet. And with that being said, let's go ahead and pay some bills. Let me get some music here. We'll go ahead and pay some bills. So go to ColinElbobrand.com. Use our promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. Go get yourself, that favorite, Colin Elbow Brand swag. They got nice t-shirts, nice hoodies, and they're very comfortable fitting as well. I guess unlike this hat, that one will fall off my head. But these t-shirts and hoodies, they are very comfortable. Nice, fitting shirts, and the fabric is that's the word I'm looking for. Fabric. The fabric is really great. Go check out ColinElbowBrand.com. Again, use our promo code FinalCountKY. Save 10% at checkout. And with more on Colin Elbow, let's throw it to the one and the only, our good friend over at OVW, Mr. Al Snow.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
There you have it. And now we'll go ahead and go to our next plug here. I'm going to let you take care of this one, Neil.
Sure. Shop at www.shop.com using our personal link in the description of the episode below.
There we go. And if you head on over to dcounty.app.com now and get your official Final Count hoodie for only $45, and the first version of our t-shirts, which are only $25, go over and check out dcounty.app.com now. Get your first ever official Final Count hoodie and or t-shirt. Again, hoodies are only $45, t-shirts are only $25. Or you can also head on over to our website, and so you can check out our website at the Final Count. You can check out our website at the Final Count ky.square.site. And next, Neil, you want to take this one?
Don't forget to check out the audio version of the podcast. You can catch it on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and iTunes.
There we go. And head over to w.gg and use the promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. It is your taste buds' favorite energy drink. Again, w.gg. Use promo code FinalCountKY. Save 10% at checkout. It is your taste buds' favorite energy drink, and your taste buds will thank you. And with that being said, that wraps up our show here on our Christmas special here tonight. And what a Christmas special it's been. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
This is great. Thank you, Santa.
Yeah.
And thank you, Michael and Chase and Donovan Cecil. One more time. Thank you so much for your time. It was, thank you, Jerry, also. You guys are fantastic. Woo!
Thank you to everyone who has tuned in. We really appreciate it. Definitely been a great show, and we could not have done it without you all watching, and because if not, it'd just be us talking. And with the live, that wouldn't be much fun, would it? I mean, we have fun recording.
It'll be kind of fun.
It would be fun, but it's I love these lives where we can chat with fans and everything, and so yeah. But hey, Christmas is next Wednesday. Christmas Eve is Tuesday. All the boys and girls. Hope everyone's been a good boy or girl this year. Everyone that's on the nice list, and it looks like everyone is on the nice list. And for right now, I'll say it this way this week. Well, Neil, actually, let me ask you, do you have anything that you want to say to close us out here?
Oh, gosh. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and have a happy new year. Look, life is complicated and hard and tough, and wrestling is just this amazing thing that we all love to help us get through it. But just don't be so hard on yourself over the holidays. Take it easy. Give yourself a pat on the back. Talk to someone you care about.
Yes, definitely. Couldn't have said it any better myself. And with that being said, as we say every week, first of all, Merry Christmas, and we will see you down the road. And as we leave, I'm going to play one more song for you to enjoy. And again, we do wish you a very Merry Christmas.